It has been a day. So programming notes first. Apologize last week. This always happens every time Raj and I get together now, and the whole family's there and the twins. We always say, "Yeah, we should have plenty of time to still do our stuff and get on there," and it never happens. Plus, I think I had a long job Monday and Tuesday, and then, like I said, we're trying to get together kids and twins, so it just didn't happen. So apologize. We know everyone missed us last week. We know your lives are not complete without us being around. So
and it was a late decision on our end. We had talked about, even before they found, we knew that me and the fam were coming to Alabama. Herb and I talked about we're going to do a show. And we waited till probably around Sunday or maybe, and then kind of finalized it. Just said we're going to have to skip this Tuesday. We were all in Tuscaloosa, chilling out with the family, having a good time. Yeah, as Herb mentioned, we apologize, but here we are. We're back again, ready to fire up a new show. So we're good. Let's do it.
All right, Kat says roll tide. Definitely appreciate you. Yes,
appreciate
please
you,
subscribe. We're still trying to make our push till 200. Need to make a better push. We're at 147 right now, so we've lost one in the past week. So whatever we did to that person, we apologize.
I'm gonna find out who that person is. Yeah.
Okay. And this one I had to put on here. I know Kat, I think said Colorado she's moving to. So Kat, I hope everything works out with the move. Very excited you.
When I first read this, I thought they were lyrics to like a country song. So I was singing them till I was ready to.
The only country song we know right now is by Shabuzi, Raj. So nothing else gets played here. Okay. So, and then my own personal news that I finally get to announce. One of the reasons why it's been stressful and trying to get everything on there. We finally closed on a house today. So the signing of everything, got a house, our first house purchase, me and my wife. So it's we didn't tell anybody or didn't tell a whole lot of people because I didn't want to jinx anything, and I didn't want to be one of those people when it falls through at the end, and then you have to go tell everybody, hey, we didn't get the house. So that caused some stress. There were some stressful moments. The closing was supposed to be Monday. Didn't happen. Did happen today. So the move is on. I don't know if you can even see the bookshelf behind it. Just has my hats in it because all the books are already packed up. So we got to be out ASAP. So very happy about that. So
congrats. Yes, sir.
All right. People don't come here to see us. They come here to see the guests. So let's bring on. I think
they come to see me.
But they do come to see you. I will agree that they do come to see you. Me, I'm just the guy who presses the button. So first guest, guy's been on here several times with us. Always brings the knowledge, the Alabama knowledge. I don't know if you have indigestion or if this is the drum roll. So I don't know which one's happening.
It's a drum roll.
Okay.
Drum roll.
All right. As always, two truths and a lie. It's up to you guys to figure out what's true, what's a lie. This past weekend, he just had a wrestling match with Marvin Constant, and he won. Threw him out of the ring. Yep. When new recruits come onto campus, they bring them to meet him first, and then Coach Saban second. That's how important he is.
Okay.
And he is in line to be the next commissioner of the SEC. We'll bring on Stephen M. Smith. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Smith. Man, I appreciate it. I'm trying to get with Commissioner Sankey on the next commissioner. Trying to get that, but the recruits do come see me. I actually had that conversation with Keon Russell, so we got him that 5th star today. So we were able to get that done. And I have been hitting this gym swole mentality. So bring it on, Marvin. Bring it on.
You're gonna need more than the mentality to beat Marvin, though. You're gonna have to really juice up.
Look, man, I'm gonna have to get some steroids or something. No.
Oh man. Well, a guy who needs no steroids because every weekend he goes to a preserve and wrestles an actual live Wolverine and walks away from it every weekend. After every game, Ryan Day calls him and they kind of break down what went right, what went wrong. And just this past weekend, he beat LeBron in a game of one-on-one with one arm tied behind his back.
Wow, the disrespect.
What's up, Trey? From the Cinco squad. What's up, man? How are you doing?
I'm
Treyday
cool.
in the building.
I need y'all to do my intro at work when I'm walking off.
I mean, we hire out. Now, I will say this: we have those. You have to tune in one day to hear a Stephen M. Smith intro as well. So then you can say, hey, do you want the excitement or do you kind of want the humor? And you can get pick out which one you want.
You can have both. I mean,
a little bit of both.
You can have both.
Yeah. So before we get into Ohio State, we did have some news Stephen M. wanted to bring in. First off, my question for him, because we were talking about this production, are you going to Arlington or to Dallas for SEC Media Days or to hang out with Raj? I think that's what the people really want to know.
Well, I'm going to be covering the team, but I'm going to really be down with Raj because Raj and I have a couple of barbecue arrangements which we got to get to. But, during the early part of the day, I will be down there getting some shots here of the team coming in. Well, of the 4 people coming in, that's Coach DeBoer and the 3 players that will accompany him. But then afterwards, Raj and I, we're going to dip out, take that barbecue.
Trey, you feeling a little left out? I'm feeling a little left out. Like,
I know we weren't even invited.
Actually, we were going to be there in spirit. We were actually work up somewhere. Well, Herb, you were going to fly in.
I mean, I might as well at this point. Who knows?
And like Trey can hop in the passenger part of the plane. And all just
Trey be like, "What am I doing here?"
Look, Trey be like, "Look, man, I just came for the barbecue."
Don't leave me there. I may start recruiting.
Hey. We've had enough of y'all recruiting and meddling in other people's affairs. So we're with that. So. And Stephen, did you have a question for Ryan Day and Trey to start this off? I think I cut you off in pre-production.
All I just want to say is treat Caleb Downs right. I don't care what y'all do with Seth McLaughlin. I don't care. But please treat Caleb right.
We're going to treat both of them right.
Once again, I don't care what. You can throw Seth out the pasture. I don't care. Please don't do Caleb right.
Herb knows how I feel about it. Herb knows how I feel about Caleb Downs and that whole situation. So I was speaking so highly of him last year. Played phenomenally as a freshman. Hate to see him go.
I don't even remember him being on the field, so I don't even know.
I know we're supposed to say that. I know
Chauncey Downs. Is that what you said? Chauncey? Don't remember him.
Charlie Brown? Was it Charlie Brown on the field?
Yeah.
Man.
Was Lucy with him?
Let's get into a couple real quick. So this is the Michigan buddy of ours saying, "What's up, Mr.
Shout out to Mr. U."
I want to shout him out, but I shot him out in November.
There you go.
I'll talk to you in 143 days.
Hey, that's fair.
That's always on.
That's fair. We get through. There's our boy Big Mike, who's just started up his YouTube channel to run in. Folks, we are trying to get this man to 50 so he can do some live streams and stuff. So if you have a chance, just click on, check him out, please, and like and subscribe. So
yes.
We don't need to appreciate you, Mr. You. Appreciate you. So we've been doing the summer series with the teams, and this was our Notre Dame representative we had on last week or 2 weeks ago, excuse me, man. So appreciate you dropping back in. Yep.
Appreciate you, man.
Trey, this is your backup. Also an Ohio State fan. So if you need to lean on anybody.
Okay. Yep. Leaning in.
Okay.
Appreciate.
Yep. So she gave us a roll tide because she supports us, but she's definitely Ohio State. For sure.
We appreciate you, lady.
Trey, if you want to support us and say roll tide, we love it. We love to hear it, man. So
yeah, okay. My mom is actually a Crimson Tide fan. A lot of my family is from Alabama, actually. Like I've been.
So what went wrong with you? Like where did you go? Where did you go wrong? Like what's going on?
I wasn't born there. They were all born there. It's a different set of circumstances. They were all born in Birmingham or Tuscaloosa. I wasn't.
Can we page the birth area of Trey? We gotta have an altercation with the birth area of Trey, please.
Stephen M. Can you get him one of those applications to jump on the Crimson Tide fandom over here? Can you email him an application?
We'll work on that, Raj. We'll work on it.
Okay. I tried to root for y'all, and y'all couldn't get done versus Michigan. Now then I had to sit
wait, now. It's not like for 3 years in a row, y'all haven't been getting it done.
I wanted somebody else to do
it. The person Trey, the person to blame for that, y'all got him out the portal.
I know.
Wow. Are you not defending Seth at all?
Right. If you saw our bowl game, which I'm sure we'll get to, you'll understand why he was still an upgrade on the offensive line.
I mean, I don't think we ever had a problem with his blocking, but it was all the other stuff that Assyrians needs to do that was killing us. So, there's a goal for it. That's our Georgia buddy there. He will also be at SEC Media Days.
Shout out to Randy.
Shout out to Randy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know. We just hate it. When you're at this numbers, you see every single one of them. So that's why.
Yeah.
So, and then we get some congrats for the house. Thank y'all. That's definitely another reason why it's kind of been scattered for the past week.
Yes, congrats.
And the focus has not been there at all. So, which brother is older? I forget. Trey's going to tell you which one of the brothers is older. So.
Yeah, we're not even going to say it, but we'll let Trey guess.
Oh, sir. And there you go, Steven. Randy's a good guy, Steven. So if you do have a chance to link up with him,
okay, all right. Me, Randy, and Raj, we can make that happen.
No, really. You know what? I'm gonna fly to Ohio State. I'm gonna hang out with Trey. Just
hang out here. It's nice this time. Columbus is nice this time of year.
That's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so forget all y'all. So, and then of course you got your Michigan fans get in there. Yeah, so Kat had actually asked Trey before we got on the show not to mention Caleb Downs, but Stephen M. Stephen M. brought him up, so I think he's safe at this point. So.
I said I was going to wait a whole 2 minutes before I brought him up.
Don't treat him right so he can come right back home. Yep. And your buddies are already jumping in.
Kick him off.
Yeah, shout out to the Cinco squad, quick.
Yeah. So where did the Cinco squad name come from? I mean, I can't be the first person to say there's like only 4 of y'all.
No, so when we originally started the podcast, it was 5 of us at one point. And a lot of
y'all executed one?
No, we didn't execute. Even though he's still all love. So once he kind of stepped away from the show, which he still every once in a while is in the background and kind of helps out, we kind of just said, all right, we're keeping the title. But the way we look at it is the 5th person, it may be the guest we have on that week. It may be the audience. It may be you. So everybody can be a part of Cinco Squad. That's how we look at it. So yes, you see 4 people on screen, but the 5th person is whoever you want it to be.
No. I wanted y'all to get up to enough to where you can call it the Ocho Squad, so we can have as many people as you want on any time.
Well, it was a joke when we originally started talking about doing it. I jokingly said ESPN 8 the Ocho. Everybody was like, okay, maybe you're on the same. It was a joke at first saying it, but it's stuck.
Okay, Herb.
Yeah, sorry, Raj. So this is Mr. You talking about in November. So this is where we're gonna start. Every talk with Ohio State and the past year has to start with 3 in a row to Michigan. I mean, that's really how your season is almost defined to start off, right? So how do you feel about where you sit right now in the rivalry and what's going to happen with this next year?
I feel a lot better simply because we brought back, 9 of your 11 defensive stars are back. So, that's always going to be a big thing. Then you add in Caleb Downs, as we said, that's a big addition.
Yeah.
I do think the offensive line is going to be better. As much as y'all
can you feel the bitterness? Stuff, we lost several people, but that was the one that hurt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's other guys. I'm just
Ryan may be playing them both ways. Ryan is talking about maybe letting them return a little bit, maybe put them in the backfield a little bit. That's the word of the street is. We'll see if that's actually true. It comes to fruition.
That's a terrible idea.
I don't love it, but I would occasionally do it just to shake stuff up, even if it's a decoy. That's fine. I don't want to go into Travis Hunter territory where you're overworking a kid at that type of age. But I just feel the rivalry, of course, it hurts. But I do think one of the best things, I hate to say this, was Michigan won that championship. As soon as they won that championship, and I mean literally within 10 minutes, Quinton Judkins is signing on and leaving Ole Miss. Then all the NIL money starts pouring in. People are like, oh no, we have got to take this to a different level. The estimate is somewhere between $10 to $15 million NIL money that's been spent this year. And partly because
I thought it was 30. I honestly thought they had put a number 30.
30, but 10 to 15 is what most websites are going with. So we're going to stay with 10 to 15. It may be. It might be.
Steven, you believe that, Steven?
Man,
it's between 15 and 30.
Man, I probably dropped 25 million on that boy. I promise about 25 million. But they're not going to tell you the full story. They're not going to tell you the full story. They're going to tell you a little bit just to wet the taste buds, but I declare about 25 million.
Trey, you sound like me when they're like, "Hey, Alabama spent $25 million." I'm like, "I got $1, so it's $25 million and one."
And $1
$1 means everything.
Yes. Yeah.
That paid for a Gatorade that Will Howard's going to use this season. That's one bottle of Gatorade.
Nice.
But my thing to you, Trey, is just like, what's the amount of pressure on Ryan Day right now? Because with what happened with NIL and of course in the portal, and now Harbaugh's gone from Michigan. He's now in the NFL. Michigan's lost a whole lot of players to the draft. Like, what's the pressure on Ryan Day? You got to get this done now. Like, we upped up the NIL.
This goes
all these players. What's that pressure?
Yep. And I also agree with this, by the way. So I'm interested to hear your take for sure.
Oh, it's all. I mean, if this is what it's a make or break season, honestly. And I just saw. I think it was a Georgia fan in the chat just says a championship or bust. Yes, it is championship or bust.
Yeah,
it is Michigan, but it's everything or bust. Really, that is what this season is. Because if not, Ryan Day's been working somewhere else like that. It's simple as that. I mean, even bringing in when you start to bring in Chip Kelly leaves UCLA to come become an offensive coordinator, you start to make these type of moves. This is a championship or bust type season. So all the pressure is on Ryan. To be honest with you, I damn near was ready to drive into the airport my damn self at the last season. But that's all right. We'll let it ride one more season.
So that was going to be my next follow-up. Were you surprised he was retained after the way last season went?
I was, simply because I don't think they had really the replacement ready. So, and then honestly, I had said, but once Harbaugh was leaving, I think they said, okay, we got to give it one time without Harbaugh, see what happens. I do think that actually helped him.
Okay. But Trey, so how close were you when this NIL money was coming up? Well, how close were you to, let me drive up here and be a part of this coaching staff? I'm going to get me this NIL bag. Let me put myself on this coaching staff.
I've been close to driving over to get that NIL back since it first got announced. I was ready to drive back when they used to do the old school way and just put the envelope in the locker and act like we weren't doing any of this. I was ready to
I like how NIL has made it like, oh, so I don't have to stick in the locker anymore. I can just give it right to him. Okay, cool.
I'll just get you at the PBR.
I know more. Shh, go play.
Yes. Now they just go, here you go, man. Appreciate you.
So Trey, quick question, right quick, regarding the quarterback position. I know you mentioned Will Howard earlier. It looks like he's going to be the starter from my understanding. How comfortable do you feel with Will Howard being the starter right there? And is there anybody? I know you guys got another one of our quarterbacks. I'm not going to mention his name because I don't want to get criticized about it. But I know you got one of the quarterbacks.
I had legit forgotten that
name. I know. But how comfortable do you feel about Howard starting? And is there anybody else that's kind of vying for that position right now?
I think Will's going to start because I think that was the understanding once he transferred in. So I never really felt it was going to be a competition. I'm actually shocked that Devin Brown didn't transfer. I mean, I guess all props to him for not hopping in the transfer portal. Personally, I probably would hop in the transfer portal because on his ass, Julian Sainz is going to be on his ass, and Aaron Nolan is something to look out for. Yes, the guy's name is actually Air. That it was like he was born to play quarterback. So when you got these two freshmen in back of you plus Will, I don't think Devin's going to get on the field. I don't think Devin showed enough from when he did play in the bowl game, when we did see in camp last year to be the starter. And, I mean, we all were packing McCourt's bags. I was packing McCourt's bags back during the Notre Dame game. So, we were all off that. So I think Will's going to be an upgrade because we're not asking him to do that much. His offense is already stacked. You're not saying go out there and win the game. Really, we're saying just don't lose the game. That's really what we're asking for you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Real quick, Jeff, what's up? Way Offsides, another one of our in the little Alabama.
Shout out to the Way Offsides crew, man.
Appreciate those.
They are heavy. They are very, very heavy on Twitter too, man. I love those guys.
Also, Trey, what it sounds like you're saying,
y'all
are asking Will Howard to be a slightly better version of Craig Krenzel.
It worked. It worked. It worked. And this offense.
Why does that not sound like a compliment at all?
Craig Krenzel.
Yeah.
Look, we had Krenzel sit here and just hand it off to 18-year-old Maurice Correct and say, step out the way. Now he gets to hand it off to Judkins and Henderson. Yeah, we're not asking you to do that much. Just don't mess it up. I didn't trust Kyle McCord to tie his shoelaces. That's a matter of the fact.
So I felt like at times he got a little bit too much blame for one. Like I have never seen a quarterback run off the team as fast as y'all ran him off last year. But you feel like the criticism for him was justified?
Yeah, but I just really never thought he was that good. He looked shaky in the pocket, especially his pocket awareness in particular. And if you're going to be a quarterback who's not mobile, you better have some type of pocket awareness. And he saw, what was it, Mark Sanchez saw ghosts back here?
Ghosts, yeah.
Yeah, it felt like he was seeing ghosts. And the longer the season went, the more ghosts, especially when you play like the Penn State game, the Michigan game where you start to play defense, you can get after it. He was seeing ghosts.
So, yeah. And he was basically fired at the end of the season. Like, there was no, like, hey, what's up? They basically shoved that
man. I saw
he was never going to be allowed back on campus.
Look, I saw the man get the pink slip right in front of his mama.
Yeah. Hey, hand it one to his mama, too. Like, hey, have this too, Miss Howard. That was rough.
The fan base could have never taken him back. It was simple as that. Like, you talking about Ryan Danvers pressure? Imagine what the pressure would have been if he would have came back. For him, honestly, going up to Syracuse probably the best thing. John's actually from Syracuse, from Cinco Squad, so he's a Michigan fan.
You know, I have a bet with him. He says that Syracuse is going to get into the ACC championship game, and I think he owes me
football.
Yeah, football. Yeah.
I didn't see this bet.
Wow, that's what I said.
Yeah, I didn't see this bet. I'm sure he'll pop on in a second to say something. In the comments, but
it was during one of y'all live shows. So maybe the NFL draft live show. Yeah. Okay. So I think that's where it came up. And I said, all right, if Syracuse gets the top 4, I'll give you your Coke and or whatever his energy drink is and a Reese's or something like that. And he owes me.
Yeah, he drinks Monster like that guy.
Yeah. See, there you go. 100%. He said Syracuse in the ACC championship game. I was like, I got to take that.
I got to take a look at Syracuse's schedule, man. Maybe I'm speaking. I don't know.
Hold on.
No, I noticed.
Are they betting on the return of Donovan McNabb? I mean,
bro, when I heard the bet, I was like, Syracuse. So I gave him top 4. I said if Syracuse finishes in the top 4, then I'll pay out on the bet. So that's what he gets. Top 4. Whatever the dream.
For Syracuse standards, they've been having a good recruiting year. I would say for Syracuse standards, I wouldn't necessarily bet on them to go.
True.
All right, Mr. U, appreciate you stopping in.
Appreciate you, Mr. U.
Trey, he will have receipts. So Ohio State better beat Michigan or Mr. We'll have you and Mr. U on the show.
Make sure you follow us. If you follow us, Mr. U, make sure you follow us. Hit me up. Call out the receipts because I definitely keep mine too.
There you go. And Mr. U, I'll see you in the morning though, so for sure. But that was our bet with Syracuse. And I don't know, Steven. I don't know if Donovan McNabb's coming back. I didn't even look at their schedule, like you were just saying, Raj. I just went. I just have no faith in Syracuse.
I know. I that's what I'm saying. I haven't looked at the schedule, so this bet must be based on something. So maybe there's a few wins in there that I don't know about. So I don't know. We'll see.
Sisters at the poor.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
Kentucky Fried Chicken Steak.
Wait, what's your end? If they don't, what's your end or the bet?
I mean, I'm a Pepsi and Reese's peanut butter cup kind of guy. So depends on how much he wants to spend on the bet. I was willing to go up to a T-shirt, and if I win, he gonna have to buy somebody a title towel, like you see back there in the background, support our brethren there. So
okay,
it's up to him though. It's up to him because I think they're only $15. So anything up there, if you wanted me to buy a T-shirt for somebody or whatever, or I mean, if they're making the AC championship game, I'll buy him a championship T-shirt or something like that. So whatever he wants. So
I got you. Okay, I'm gonna keep that in mind. I'm watching out for that.
And of course, the Syracuse bet came up during the NFL draft show, so go figure with how all that goes. Stephen M., are you disappointed in me with my betting?
I'm just wondering why did it come up during the NFL draft show? That's my only concern. I
don't even remember. Those guys have a good time, man. So the conversations kind of go like all over the place. I think you can get they have knowledge on almost every sport, in every situation. And you know how much time there is between draft picks. Wow. So it's like somewhere in the, especially for the first round, when they take like an hour between picks. So there was a lot of
we'd be having to like
it was entertaining though. It was entertaining though. Yeah.
All right. So there was a question in here about your schedule. So I don't even care about Michigan. How do you feel about Oregon joining the league?
To be honest with you, it's not okay. So this isn't even strictly to Oregon. I honestly like regional conferences. That's the way I grew up. That's the way I like it. I it's not about Oregon and USC join in and say like, oh, I don't want that smoke or anything like that. I'm fine playing them out of conference. I know they are. I think October 12th we play Oregon, but I like the SEC having teams from the South who are kind of like-minded. I don't like Texas going over to have to go to the SEC. I don't like USC traveling out to Ohio State. I like Pac-12 at night.
Man, I miss it already.
I do. So, I remember watching those. Yeah, I remember going to like Applebee's or somewhere, going late at night and be able to watch one of those games where it's Arizona playing somebody. A game you might not necessarily care too much about, but at least it's a game still on TV late at night. Yeah. So I'm going to miss that.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to miss. And I missed like just having – it was something to the regions, kind of like debating where you had the West Coast guys. They come out and say, look, y'all not respecting. Like, I remember the Reggie Bush here where people are like, hey, wait till Reggie Bush comes out. Wait till Reggie Bush comes out. People on the East Coast are like, yeah, whatever. And they're like, no, you don't stay up late. You ain't seen this guy because there was a fine for that coach at that point. And the same when I remember, I guess sore spot again. I hate to bring this up, but the year when Auburn doesn't make the championship, and everybody in the SEC is like, "What do you mean Auburn didn't make it? But they were undefeated this year." And it was a certain sense of pride.
We didn't say that. We didn't care.
Maybe y'all.
Who is Auburn?
wrong program. Yeah.
Who is it?
But your point is valid. Your point is valid, though. Your point is valid.
So for that perspective, I'm not really a big fan of it. I'm not a big fan of realignment in general.
Yeah, Stephen M., I don't think we ever asked you on this show, but how did you feel about the Pac-12 demise, and then following up with this point about Texas and Oklahoma joining?
I hated the Pac-12 demise for the same reasons Raj and Trey mentioned. I actually watched those Pac-12 games late at night. I actually watched Arizona State take on Washington State. Like those fun battles with Mike Leach and Arizona State, like that was crazy. Like I actually sat there and enjoyed watching Oregon go at UCLA at 2:00 in the morning. That was actually pretty intriguing. So to no longer have that, it sucks. It sucks. But I think having Oregon and having USC in the Big Ten is going to enhance that conference. I think it's going to be fun to watch that and to see what new rivalries could come from that. But to have Oklahoma and Texas in the SEC, I'm going to tell you this, for softball purposes, I'm excited to have Oklahoma. I want to beat Patty Gasso so bad. But I'm excited to have Oklahoma. I'm excited to have Texas. It's going to be exciting to watch Venables and Steve Sarkisian both speak next week in media days. The questions they're going to get, the banter being created from that. I'm pumped up to see that.
I agree with that.
Oh, yeah.
And just because you brought it up real quick, coming to the midway point of the show, why don't you go ahead and tell us who are the players going for Bama to SEC Media Days?
Well, they got 3 veterans. Jalen Milrose going, Tyler Booker, offensive guards going, Malachi Moore, defensive backs going. And I kind of knew DeBoer was going to pick veterans. So you're bringing Milrose there. You're bringing Tyler Booker there. You're bringing Malachi Moore there. I kind of want to ask Malachi, dude, how is the secondary going to look for real? Like, how is his defense going to look for real? I kind of want to look at Tyler Booker, bruh. You know, the offensive lines these last couple of years have been kind of How is this offensive line going to look? I mean, I kind of want to ask Milroe, dude, are we throwing the ball every single play, man? Like, what are we going to do with DeBoer and the confidence that he's got with you here on offense? So it's awesome having all 3 guys. So we're going to have Booker, Milroe, and Malachi Moore down there in Texas.
Y'all think Milroe's going to win the Heisman?
It depends on how he plays, and it depends on the Georgia game, how he plays against Georgia,
LSU.
how he plays against LSU,
on the road,
and then possibly how he plays against Tennessee on the road.
Yeah. I think it's one of those, right? If we're in the mix after those games he's talking about, then Milroe's going to be the guy. It's hard to keep, like, look at Daniels last year. It's hard to keep a running quarterback who's having a good season out of the conversation. So
the total yards.
The total yards is what people look at.
Right now, early on, you got a lot of the betting voters out there. They're looking at Carson Beck early. They're looking at Quinn Ewers of Texas. They're looking at Shedeur Sanders at Colorado. Quinshon Judkins is getting some love right now. He started.
I don't think he's
running.
Gonna split. I don't think he's going to split. Henderson will take
plus running back. It's just a lot. You have to be the back, and I just don't think you're going to see that much anymore.
He's not
yeah.
back, so I don't think. I think there'll be a great dynamic backfield, but I don't think he'll get enough.
Do you have the best backfield in the country?
I think we do. I don't see who else does. If it ain't us, I would love for somebody in the comments to tell me who does.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure our Georgia buddy's going to quote it. I wish I still had that graphic where they showed who the top 5 were. Randy intended to be at one point, so they're definitely mentioned in that breath. So that gets like a luxury pick.
I'm trying to see, Trey, when y'all gonna bump up the pay of Brian Hartline, putting all these receivers in the draft? Like, when Hartline
they bump him to like some form of another associate head coach? They bumped his title up, so I'm sure pay came with him.
Okay.
That's how they've been trying to hold on to him.
Because he done been there for like 20 years now.
No, and he's going to be a hard one to hold on because people are going to start knocking on that door soon. I mean, he recruits like no other. Like they still have – there's a guy, and I don't – if y'all get a chance to look into it, anybody in the comments, anybody watching, there's a guy, Jeremiah Smith. Look into him. He is our next receiver who's a freshman who – yeah, he looks like DK Metcalf. I'm not saying this as hyperbole. The guy is like 18 years old. He's 6'3", 205, all muscle. He looks like DK Metcalf, like the build. And every year he's pumping somebody in. Like that Carnell Tate's going to be another one that's coming up every receiver that y'all see. Emeka Ibuka's back, so that's going to be the one. But look at those two as people that are going to come up. Yeah, and just like Kat said, I mean, when you look at Thomas Olave, I mean, Garrett Wilson, and he's putting people out. Like, Jackson Smith and Jigba, like every year.
He's the best one of the whole group, though. I think Smith and Jigba's the best one of the whole group.
Yeah, unfortunately, he just didn't get his last season because that hamstring messed up.
Yeah.
The Notre Dame game didn't really get to play. When they showcased him doing that Rose Bowl, you really saw like, oh, this is different.
And this was one about SEC media days for sure. Yep. So. And he says that with that, do you get excited about, I guess, Big Ten media days or whatever's coming up, or is it just kind of like, I don't know, like we're putting it into an event kind of down here.
I mean, it's in Indiana, so it's not like I'm not going out to Indy. It's usually in Lucas Oil, so I won't be a Lucas Oil attendant. For us, I think around here we take a lot more into like, I mean, y'all do too, but like the spring game is always like the big deal where like you hear everybody like, you see the spring game, you going down, like. You'll talk to everybody. Like, actually, little known fact, I actually went to college in the state of Michigan, actually. I went to Eastern Michigan. Eastern Michigan is 2
families from Alabama, college in Michigan. Like, who are you? Like,
I went to college.
What is going on here?
So it shaped my Ohio State fandom because I went to college 2 acres away from Ann Arbor. So I would always walk around my Ohio State gear, anything like that. I was always an Ohio State fan. When I got up there, and everybody would be like, oh, yeah, F Ohio State. And I'm like, all right. Yeah, and that's what really shaped me into a ultra Ohio State fan. Was just
your hatred fueled you.
And the only time we lost when I was up there was when somehow Terrell Pryor got kicked out for getting a tattoo. That's the only time we lost to him. When I was
which can somebody please explain that to me again? Why they kicked him off because of that?
It was illegal because it wasn't NIL and he wasn't allowed to take tattoos and. Somehow that's enough. Reggie Bush can't put a house for his mama. It's crazy. Yeah. And that's the blessing in NIL.
I guess so.
but I mean, the SEC, they have made a spectacle out of media days. Probably the only thing I did not like that Greg Sankey did, and there's very few things that Greg Sankey does I don't like, but the fact that you took it from a centralized location in Birmingham, and I understand he wants to broaden the appeal of the SEC. You have the media days in Knoxville, Tennessee, have it in New Orleans, have it in Atlanta, have it in different areas. I get that, but you took it out of central Birmingham, where it was just a smooth drive for me. And now I got to take my butt to Texas.
That's what I was waiting for. Herb, that's what I was waiting for. I think Steven prolonged that as long as he could. He said, I don't want to say it, but I gotta admit it. It just sucks.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, of course, too, for me being in Birmingham, he waited to the moment that I would actually be paying attention to everything and then said, yeah, we're gonna move it far away. So
yeah.
The last thing Trey, before we move into kind of looking at this next year, you're already getting the come on, Steven. We mentioned, and one of the reasons why he mentioned Malachi Moore and the stuff is our defense did not look good during our spring game. And so that's why he's kind of leaning there. What were your takeaways, if any? I know with the transfer portal, maybe not everybody in there. What were your takeaways from your spring game?
Like I said, Jeremiah Smith, that's who jumped off the like that. When you went to the spring game, even if you look at some of just the offseason tape, taking in mind Denzel Burke is supposed to be the first or second round draft pick at corner. That dude was serving Denzel Burke. And I was like, oh, this is going to be an issue because he was just so physical coming off the line. And the defense overall was good, but that was like probably the most, we may got something with this freshman like coming in that I kind of took really from the spring game was watching him. And then honestly, just seeing, it's like you hear people say you're bringing back 9 of 11 defenders, and then you look out there and you're like, oh my God, the entire defense really came back. And the defense was pretty good last year. So that was my other big thing, just watching them say, okay, we're going to plug in Caleb Downs with what already has a couple possible first rounders. The one other thing is looking at the linebacker position. So we lost a lot there. Like we lost Eichenberg, who was like the leader of the linebacking crew. But what they did is they moved Sonny Styles from like a hybrid monster safety type position, and they're moving him linebacker, which is what I thought they needed to do because he was a little too slow to play safety, but almost not the perfect fit linebacker, but I think they'll figure it out with him. And I liked what they seemed to be trying to do with him and linebacker coming up this season.
Do you like following that the I don't know if it's heavy reliance because honestly I haven't followed the recruiting as much, but do you like how much they got out of the transfer portal this week, or do you put more on recruiting, or do you kind of like the mix that Ohio State has right now going into next year?
I think you have to have a mix because if you're at a program, and I mean you can say this thing, but whether it's in Ohio State and Alabama, if you talk about Texas, any of these big programs like that, you're going to lose people in the portal, so you're going to have to replace these guys you lost. So you do have to go in the portal. I feel like last year we didn't go in the portal enough. And I think that was where this year, I think somebody, I don't know if it was a boost or somebody put Ryan Davis. I was like, look, man, you got to I get you want to go with this homegrown talent, but that ain't working. That was the demise of one of the demises of Jim Tressel, and why we couldn't beat back in the day the SEC was because Jim Tressel just wanted to stick to Ohio. And, don't get me wrong, I'm proud of that he was sticking to Ohio. Like me, I was living in Cleveland at the time. And there was so many guys, whether it was Ted Ginn, Troy Smith, all these guys were in Cleveland at the same time playing football as me in high school. And it was like great to watch all these guys go there. But then you go out there and you play Florida and you're like, oh, Ted Ginn's the only guy who can run with these guys. We're in trouble. So to stay relevant, you have to always be willing to evolve. And that, you got to go in the portal. If you don't, then, hey, your fan base is going to get rid of you. Trust me.
That's true. And that's why I heard that one time I mentioned to you, and I think we all know about Dabo Swinney's perception on the transfer portal and getting players, and that, his whole mentality is, I'm fine with everybody we have. I think everybody we have is going to start, blah, 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 all that, et cetera. But, I mean, to Trey's point, I feel like over the next few years, if he doesn't learn to adapt, I mean, there's a possibility he could be gone if Clemson continues to just kind of slide downhill.
Yeah.
Well, and the portal covers up if you miss. So to Dabo's point there, when he missed on DJ, I can never pronounce his name, the quarterback. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They missed on
Uyunglele.
DJ.
I appreciate that, Steve.
And this is something you were talking about earlier too. So
exactly. See, it's completely right. Because once you knew we were going out there with Devin Brown, and you knew Kyle McCord was, and you had Devin Brown, and for you to go out there. That's negligence. It honestly is negligence. For you to go out there and your quarterback situation with that offense, and that's the same thing I look at Dabo. Once you kind of saw DJ wasn't it, okay, you keep saying I'm not going there. All right, believe. Miami and all the rest of them are going back in that portal. You're going to have a hard time trying to compete, talking about I'm just going with homegrown talent. That ain't going to work no more.
Yeah. I agree. All right, you want to take our first look, unless somebody else had something else on that one. Take our first look.
Actually, I do have a quick question for y'all about the portal because I've always had a theory that I think the transfer portal, and not just Saban, whether it's been Saban, whether it's been some of the other legendary basketball coaches, I think that's driven a lot of them to retirement a little bit earlier than they wanted to. Because I don't think Saban won, and it's not that Saban couldn't get in the portal. I just think it's the headache of having to say, okay, I'm going to lose 5 guys. I got to get 5 guys. I do think, and I don't know if y'all feel the same, but I think that contributed earlier than retired.
Oh, I 1,000% agree. Go ahead, Steven.
I agree.
Now,
okay.
I don't think the portal contributed much to that. I think NIL, more than anything, contributed more to the Saban's retirement because Saban was actually getting guys out of the portal. You look at Jamison Williams, you look at Jahmyr Gibbs, you look at different guys that Bama put out of the portal that helped. I think NIL was the bigger factor because you look at after the Rose Bowl against Michigan, so many players and their parents were coming to Nick Saban, well, coach, if my kid comes back, how much NIL is he going to get? If my kid comes back, how much NIL is he going to get?
Right.
And that was the thing that really soured Saban because it's no longer, I want to play for the love of this game and being around my brothers, my teammates, and going to war with them. No, it's how much money can I attract and accumulate by coming back. And I think that ultimately pushed Saban out the door.
Right. And I think they go hand in hand with what he's saying, though. I think the fact that, like what you said, they're coming and saying, hey, what about, this NIL or I'm leaving? And then they ended up in the transfer portal. I do think both of those, because it's hard enough to me as a college coach to recruit. I'm already trying to recruit this high school kid. Now I'm going to watch the transfer portal and recruit, somebody else. But now I got to recruit my own kids too that are already here and playing. And I think the combination of all that is like, to his last point there, they're not playing for the love of your university or the love of the sport anymore. It's just like, where's my next paycheck? If you're giving me, 10,000 and that guy's giving me 11, I'm going to 11. And I know the numbers are way inflated, but I just think you're seeing way more of that. Guys aren't staying for like their future. They're staying for like the next paycheck.
Yeah.
And it's just,
and I think that's on top of all that. I think Saban started to realize that he no longer had a lot of control as far as just evolving and allowing these players to kind of reach their potential, because with all the NIL and the transfer portal, players are coming and going. I mean, even I'll admit, sometimes you look at the roster and you got to really, really look at the background of some of these guys. Like, who's the new guy on A-Day when we're watching the spring game? I don't recognize some of these names. I got to go with my phone. I got to do a little research. I got to figure this type of stuff out. So over the past few years, Saban did what he could. He adjusted. Obviously, we succeeded with it. But I think he just reached a point where he just got tired of it. And at the end of the day, it's hard to develop players when they're coming and going and they're not staying at university for 2 or 3 years. Nowadays, like we all mentioned, it's just come here. If I don't start immediately, I'm going to go somewhere else where they're going to give me another paycheck.
Yeah. So, and that's what Mike is kind of saying here. Go ahead. Well, just real quick on his comment, the freedom of movement the kids have, that's kind of just makes it way easy to get out of a situation. I'm sorry, Steve, what you were about to say?
They have to put some stipulation on some of these rules.
Yeah, and then you guys got to think how difficult it is also for not just the coaches, but for fans. And we here as consumers and content creators of the sport, you look at all these kids leaving, you get a whole different roster every year. You're struggling to figure out, okay, who is this kid? Who is that kid? I thought he was wearing 24. He just switched to 9. What the world?
Yeah.
You gotta literally scratch through the roster, remake the roster back over.
Yeah, I know people who refuse jerseys now because of that.
Yeah, and I think this is something Herb and I have discussed. Like, even right nowadays when we go on Twitter and we hear news about Alabama getting a new recruit, it's like we used to get really, really excited because once you get that recruit, you knew he's coming to your school for 3 or 4 years, he could be a star, etc. Nowadays, especially when you get a recruit from like the 2026 class, that's 2 years. That's 2 years from now. I mean, anything can happen over the next 2 years. That player might decide, okay, I don't want to go there anymore, or it wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. So many decisions can be made. So nowadays, when I see it's recruiting, it's good for the numbers, and I like to see Bama, top 3, top 5, top 2, whatever the case may be. But I'm not sold yet until I finally see that person wearing the helmet, wearing the crimson jersey, and playing on the field.
Yep. And now it feels like you have to watch them at least through the first 4 games, because if they're not happy, they're going to transfer like after game 3 for some reason. Like, it's become a benchmark.
Yeah.
No, like you said, and actually playing on the field, because that was our story with when we were all excited when Quinn Ewers showed up. And then you realize, oh, wait a minute, he's just waiting to go off to Texas. I guess to go back to, this is way back early in the show, what went wrong, that's what went wrong. And Ryan didn't have a backup plan because Quinn Ewers was technically supposed to be the person who would have been that slot last year. But when he transferred out, Ryan never replaced him. And the reason they didn't partly get recruits is because everybody's like, I'm not going to Ohio State to go sit behind the arm of God or whatever the hell you want to call Quinn Ewers the people were giving him at that time.
Right.
People didn't want to go whatever they want, or the mullet of God, whatever you want to call it. Quinn Ewers at the time. So people didn't want to go sit behind him, which made it hard, and Ryan didn't have a contingency plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this was from your Ohio State. I know you touched on her earlier, but I did want to at least give her to say she's not as confident I'll let you go ahead and repeat your answer in case that with the case
About
of Will
Will,
Howard. Yeah.
I'm more confident in Will than Devin, partly because I think Will can at least throw if he has to. Devin is a running back masquerading as a quarterback. It's simple as that. He even wears 33. I know he does it for Sammy Baugh and all that, but no, the guy. We were bringing him in on some Tim Tebow freshman year Wildcat package type stuff. Ryan didn't even believe in him as a quarterback, so we all knew what time it was with that.
Yeah. This is from an Oklahoma fan, so I don't know how much we can.
Yeah, I thought the same thing when Mike posted this. I was like, come on, man, come on. Now, I mean, what do you guys think Quinn Ewers is overrated, or is he fairly rated, or what do you
I'm fine with it.
He's going to win this year.
I'm fine.
You say you think he is?
I think he's going to win Heisman this year. Yeah, I think it's actually
Ewers.
Yeah, I think he's going to be Ewers.
Okay.
I'm not saying he's the greatest thing ever, but I just feel like they're going to give an opportunity to go out there and put the stats up to win the Heisman. Now with them in the SEC, they're going to have more prime games, so I think it's going to be Ewers.
All I'm going to say is this. Quinn better stay healthy because them folks down there, they chomping at the bit to put Arch Manning out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quinn gets hurt. And Quinn gets hurt every year, right? So
and they played Georgia. Was it game 3 or game 4? I forgot when the Texas Georgia game is. So that's going to be a huge one.
I'm just saying
it can't be game 4. That's us.
I think it's game 3.
Really?
I said game 3 or game 4. So I want to say it was early on in September sometime.
You got the early contingent fans down there in Horn Nation. They want Arch.
I don't know why
they saying put him out there.
Oh no, they're coming for if he slips up, Arch is coming in there and taking that spot. Which is also why I think he's gonna play his ass off because I think he has no choice. I think he's playing for literally his job every down at this point.
Herb, you're right. It's October. My bad. It's October 19th.
What was that?
Oh, I said I was wrong. It's October 19th.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah.
Raj admitting he was wrong on live YouTube.
Yeah.
I'd rather admit
I knew it wasn't early on in the year. Yeah. I knew it wasn't early on in the year.
This is a major press release.
Yes.
Hey,
it
happens.
Guys, we're going to go ahead and close the show now. I appreciate everybody being here. It does not get any better than this. So, yeah. Well, I did want to take a quick look. Let's see if I got this right. At your schedule.
They start off with the Zips. Oh, my goodness. That's going to be a barn burner.
Oh, yeah. Battle of Ohio right there.
Yeah. Okay.
Hold on.
Michigan, Marshall.
Y'all play against Chad Pennington, Randy Moss, and the Marshall Herd. Okay.
Ooh, that Iowa Hawkeyes.
I like the bye before the Marshall game. Like who worked on that for you?
Marshall's it's gonna be tough. Like you said, Chad Pennington with Byron Leftwich as the backup and Randy Moss out there. And then coached by Matt.
Okay, so the first real game is until the 12th when you play at Oregon.
Yeah.
Which is probably what I like about our schedule because we have time to make sure if Will isn't the answer, then we got time to go get Aaron Nolan or Julian Sane right before that. So I like that we're not coming in because when we played a few years ago, we played Oregon when they weren't in the conference. And it was like actually it was CJ Stroud's, I think, first home game in the Horseshoe. And it was like week 2, and CJ, everybody was like ready to bench him. And I'm like, dude, he's his first start. He's going against Oregon. So I like that we don't have to come out flaming in that way.
Right.
Iowa's usually a trap game a lot of years, but usually when we go to Iowa every 3 or 4 years. So I like we're actually playing them at home this year.
Yeah. What about Nebraska? Do you feel like they've come up enough to threaten you at all?
That was my question.
No, I'm not worried about Nebraska.
Oh, sorry, Rush.
I'm not worried about
Nebraska. No. I was going to ask about Nebraska. We know they have the Dylan Raiola. I think he's supposed to be one of the best quarterbacks in the nation.
He also
we haven't seen him play at all. But
I think he went.
He committed Ohio State, then he went to Georgia, then it's Nebraska. So it's just like, dude, we don't know what you want to do. So Trey, we're looking at the schedule. What are your schedule predictions? Are you just going to flat out say 12? No, what are you thinking? Just by looking at the schedule, realistically,
we playing with our lives on the line. It's undefeated. That's the time of the season.
Okay,
we're playing with our lives on the line. I'm calling undefeated season. It's gonna So the hard points. Oregon's gonna be a hard point. That's good. I think the Oregon game is gonna come down to the last 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But I like where it's placed in the schedule. I like to have a bye coming off of that because I think that game is going to kick some asses, and I think it's going to be some. I hate to say it. I think a couple injuries. Going to be some nicks that are going to come out that game. So I like that we're going that way. The Penn State game is more than likely going to be the whiteout game. Usually it's us or Michigan, whoever ends up going there, and especially being November. So I know that's going to be a hard one, but I think our defense is going to do enough to keep that low score.
I've never been a Penn State believer, to be honest.
The whiteout game is always a tough one, though. That's just.
I got you.
That's fact. It just is. The whiteout is a monster. And this year, I mean, Michigan's reeling a little bit. I mean, I'm sure somebody from Michigan in the chat isn't going to appreciate me saying that, but it is a reset. Sharon Moore is a new coach, and we're in the horseshoe. So I appreciate being home. Northwestern's actually, as a side note, is actually going to be played at Wrigley Field. So it's like a random-ass game, which I don't really like playing on a baseball stadium.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of worried about the
Cubs?
No.
Yeah, Northwestern's redoing their stadium, and they have some like makeup stadium that they're doing like off of Lake Michigan up there. But they put the Ohio State game. One other is going to be at Wrigley. I just don't like playing football and baseball fields. But
didn't Northwestern redoing their whole program after what happened like this offseason? So
okay, y'all. I'm gonna get on the phone with Sammy Sosa and Fred McGriff and tell them to fix the turf. Hey, y'all fix the turf. Fix it.
If you can make that work for it. So, undefeated season. Who are you facing in the Big 12 or Big 10, championship game?
Okay, so it's weird. We don't have conferences anymore.
Right.
Or we don't have, divisions anymore.
Divisions, yeah.
My best bet would probably, I probably would say we'd have a rematch with Oregon. I think USC is going to hurt a lot. The USC still didn't figure that defense out. So they're going to have a hell of a windfall trying to go against some of these teams with no defense. So my best bet, because I think Michigan's going to lose a couple this year. I think Michigan, if they'll figure it out in time, be realistic. But Oregon rematch probably is what happens.
So does your undefeated season include the championship game?
Yeah, because I think by then we already played each other. Well, I think we'll do better the second time on a neutral in Lucas Oil than we will going to Oregon. Because we're going to travel. We're going to travel and pack the hell out of Lucas Oil when we play them the second time.
Stephen M., you agree with that assessment? You think it's going to be undefeated?
I can see it. Probably only slip up would be Oregon. But if you get by Oregon, I can see undefeated.
Yeah, I agree. Same
I
here.
just do not like.
And I feel like the Oregon game.
I just don't like the fact that Northwestern gonna have y'all playing at Wrigley
in November too.
You have ruined this man's night. Thanks a lot, Trey. We invite you on the program, but this is what you do.
I can't even get Sammy Sosa on the phone. Sammy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sammy Sosa.
I feel like that Oregon game is really going to test the Ohio State defense because apparently Dylan Gabriel is supposed to have a huge year this year. So that'll be interesting to see.
That game circled. I don't know how much y'all looked at, and I'd have to go back in and look at the schedule. But October 12th is like a crazy week of college football. I can't remember who I was playing, but it's like 4 or 5. It's one of those games. It's one of those weeks where if you got a wife, you got a girlfriend, hey baby, I'm gonna go ahead and pay for a spa day. I'm locking myself in the basement. Like that's how it's going.
Oh, that's every Saturday for us.
Yeah.
It's certain weeks where you're just like, it's certain weeks where you can kind of sneak out real quick, maybe go get dinner at Applebee's. No, I'm not. We ain't going out to dinner with no TV. I'm not leaving the house.
Every Saturday we tell our wives, hey, this is when Alabama plays, so everything's got to be centered or scheduled around this game. If we play,
that's all about every game is
yeah.
The Ohio State season schedule, but it's certain weeks where I'm like, I don't get it. It says Ohio State play for. I don't care. I'm not leaving.
Texas, Oklahoma is that week.
Yep.
Also, we was talking about. I think I saw.
Who do we have that week, Herb? Are we playing
South Carolina?
Is that Missouri? Oh, okay.
South Carolina.
All right.
Okay, so it's Texas, Oklahoma,
and Florida, Tennessee. I guess if we're still looking at that rivalry.
Still a rivalry at the end of the day.
So, well, and there we go. Steve's well seasoned. I'm not worried. There you go. All right, you want to put him through the ringer for a minute there before we close out, Raj?
Let's do it.
I wasn't prepared.
Start off.
Yeah, you go ahead and start, Raj.
All right, Treyday. So let's just say someone approaches you and says, hey, man, we're going to give you $500,000 for you and the Cinco Squad to start up something. We're going to give you your own program on ESPN, whatever the case may be. In order to get this $500K, we need you to do one thing, Treyday. For one day, you've got to be on social media all day saying things like go blue. You've got to be showing pictures wearing your Michigan paraphernalia, etc. Really, really backing Michigan Wolverines for one day. After that day, you can come back the next day and apologize, whatever the case may be. But if you do that for a day, you and the Cinco Squad get the $500K, you get your new program, etc. Would you do it?
Okay, so actually background, and I can't remember. I don't think we were following each other this time yet. Me and John had a bet this year, and it was whoever lost had to go on and make a video about a Michigan player they secretly always respect or liked. I picked Charles Woodson. What happens? Charles Woodson sees it, reposts on his page, and the video has something like 50,000 plus views of Michigan people teasing.
Really?
So I've already lived.
Okay, so you've already
I've already lived that scenario for free. So for 500, yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, if you go on, I'll find it. I'll send it to you. But yeah, it's posted.
Okay.
Like, it was literally the first thing you see on this page, and yeah, I've
terrible, terrible.
That's pretty interesting story. I need to see that video though. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
we tried to get Stephen Smith with Auburn, and that didn't fly.
Yeah, ain't gonna happen.
No, I get you, because if you told me before that, I wouldn't have. But if I did it for free, I could damn well do it 5 times.
Look, absolutely not. I've been to 3 times. Almost got trampled. I am not putting on any type of Auburn paraphernalia.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right. We play a little game on here we call Work, Play, Live. We give you 3 names, okay? And you have to tell us who would you rather work with. That's a regular 9-to-5, 40-hour week, job. Play, that's, hey, this guy called me or girl called me. I'm going out with them Friday nights. We hanging out. And live, who's a person I'd love to be my neighbor, see over there, talk about if we're keeping our lawn mowed, all that kind of stuff, whatever. Okay. Your 3 names are John, Mike, and Jamie.
Okay, so Liv, me and John, we were roommates, actually. We were interns at Disney.
Oh, that's kind of cheap.
I know, you got all the answers.
Hey, you made that one easy. Me and John lived together for 4 years. So that's easy. I would say, so it was work, live, play. I would say work with Mike, because Mike is ultra organized. So like if I need somebody, and I know if I know Mike's he's gonna keep organized. Even if I'm not organized, I can talk to Mike and say, hey, didn't we quote something like this? Need to post a video. And Mike can say, I believe it was in episode 78. Let me go pull it. I'm like, all right, cool. So Mike is work and play. Even though Grandpa Jay's a grandpa, John Russ is Jamie is like the surfer.
Swimmer. Oh, he looks it though. He looks it.
A lot of people know, but I mean, I guess I don't know. Jamie's advertised a little bit. He's real humble about it. Jamie actually swam the Olympics, actually.
Wow.
Before.
Really?
So like, yeah, Jamie's like the so when we talked to Jamie, it'd just be the most southern. Yeah, this one time I was at the Olympic bus. He said in the episode 2 weeks ago, he said, yeah, and I'm just riding this Serena Williams house on the bus. So Jamie is like the most traveled of all of us. So yeah, I'm gonna play with Jamie.
But Jamie also looks like the guy who showed up in like a regular t-shirt and flip-flops drinking, and they was like, hey, we need an 8th swimmer, and he's like, all right, cool.
That would be him. And he would.
What's up, bro? Yeah.
That would be him, isn't he?
That is totally the vibe Jamie gives off. All right, Roger, what you got?
All right, next question. So I don't know if Herb, if you could pull up the graphic for the Ohio State's 2024 schedule right quick. After looking at your schedule for 2024, out of these 3 teams, which 3? Let's just say we had to take out the Marshall Thundering Herd game and replace it with the SEC team. Out of these 3 teams, which team would you want to play on the schedule? And the game is going to be at the home team for the other team, so not at Ohio State. So it's Texas, Georgia, and Alabama. Which one would you want to play?
Actually, for me, okay, so my gut says we're going to see Georgia in the championship. I'm calling it now. So
there you go.
We'll see them later down the road.
Okay.
I want Ewers. Fuck it. I want to go to Texas and take Ewers out because he fucking wasted a year of our program. So I want to take. I know. So, if anybody knows, I tell people all the time.
I mean the bitterness.
I mean, really?
No, I don't have anything personal against Alabama. I do have a certain guy over there that I do think derailed our program in Quinn Ewers. So, yes, did I just say he's going to win a Heisman? Yeah, because I'm very realistic, and when I make predictions of what I think, I don't just say it just to say it. So, I do believe he's going to win a Heisman, but I would love to go out there and smash his fucking face in, and
Yeah. Hey, if he sees
I would love for JT Tuimoloau to take his ball and swing him around a little bit.
Hey, Quinn Ewers, if you're watching this, man, please jump in the comments or something.
Oh man.
So yeah, we want Quinn.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Coming right at the top of the hour, so we're going to hit you with one more before we let you get out of here. All right. Ohio State plays Alabama in the national championship game. You have 2 tickets on the 50-yard line. Okay. You have to bring one person from this group that we're about to give you. Okay. Herb or Raj?
Oh wow, what a question! Yeah, that seems like such
Raj to put the hat back.
That seems like such a setup. Who am I bringing?
Come on, Trey.
I got 2 tickets on the 50. Who am I? So who is more? Wait, actually, I'm gonna ask this. Let's ask my question. Which one of y'all are louder when rooting for Alabama?
Herb.
Oh, that's probably Herb. Yeah.
Oh, I gotta take Raj. I'm not being yelling at me for a whole 4 quarters. Then Raj is gonna be more bearable. So Raj gets to come to the game.
It's funny. It's funny you asked that because Herb was actually here last year for the SEC championship game. Herb was here, and the kids were a couple months old, and we were watching the game, holding the kids, playing with the kids, feeding them bottles and stuff, watching the SEC championship game. So every time we got excited for a touchdown, we're sitting there like. It was so hard to contain our emotions, but it was a heck of a game. But yeah, good answer. Of course, I like that answer. So Raj wins, so I'm good.
I do have a Bama men's basketball and the NBA update. So Herb Jones has changed his number for the Pelicans. He will now wear number 2 this season. There is some significance behind this. Herb wore number 2 at Hale County High School. Helped to win a state championship. Okay. He also wore number 2 at Sunshine High School before it closed down, helping them to 2 state championships. So Herb is going back to number 2 that's won them championships.
My boy,
shout out to Herb Jones too, man.
Yeah, that's
all right. We're gonna end up here. Stephen M, tell everybody what you got going on, what's next, and where you're signing autographs at the SEC Media Days.
Well, yeah, I will be in Dallas next week for Media Days. If I'm signing autographs, it will be inside the hotel, probably on Radio Row. So I'll be putting the John Hancock on them autographs right there. Like I said, I'll be kicking it with Rod at the barbecue. Herb, fly the plane down. Trey, you get on the plane too.
Yeah. I don't know if Birmingham to Dallas. I guess we just make a loop to get to pick them up. Look, we're not getting left out. That's all I'm telling you.
Look, I don't know what the plane gonna do, but y'all make the plane do what it gotta do. So we can get barbecue. Yeah. That's all I gotta say.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. All right, and then this was one for you from the Georgia fan. Trey, tell everybody what you got going on next. What's going down? And yes.
Yeah, hey, I will see y'all dogs at some point during the playoffs. We got to get back. They were on my New Year's. They were on my New Year's Eve. That
was it. That was the Peach Bowl, wasn't it?
Yeah, that field goal. We just sat. It went silent. I mean, it went silent in this house. Yeah. We just moved into our new house and stuff too. We're on my little mini New Year's housewarming.
Oh,
oh man!
It was.
That's why my housewarming will not be around any sporting events.
It was like a terrible night.
Not the housewarming. Oh.
He said, reach out if I can help you out, Trey. But Trey, tell everybody what you got going on next. You said y'all are recording tomorrow night, right? And so we see y'all over Twitter too. So
yeah, we usually drop on Thursdays. We try to drop around noon, but everybody got 9 to 5. We can't always drop at noon. So always look for us usually to drop on Thursdays. But like daily, we always have content, whether it's we've been kind of venturing into like an entertainment thing where sometimes we'll record videos that have nothing to do with sports. Or maybe not nothing to do with a game, but maybe something to do with like a movie we watched or a documentary we watched. So make sure y'all look out for those videos. We got a lot of Olympic coverage coming up. Like we're going to have to lean in really, like I said, we had an Olympian on our podcast. We're about to lean in really heavy with Olympic content, but we drop every Thursday. Make sure everybody follows Cinco Squad Pod 05. That's on all of our socials. And make sure you follow some multiple socials because we don't always post the same. Sometimes just because it's on our TikTok doesn't mean it's on our YouTube. Sometimes you may miss a video if you only follow us on one platform. So make sure y'all follow us. And if you love college football, that's our biggest probably common thing for the forum is college football of all of it. But we cover whatever, soccer, football, basketball, baseball. We have a side basketball, so side baseball show. The rotations are side baseball show. The starting fives are side basketball show that we do. So whatever type of sports you're looking for, we cover it. And feel free, talk to us in the comments. Like Herb and Raj know, we always are in the comments talking to people, going back and forth, joking, laughing. We just like to have a good time. So yeah, definitely, we love to engage. So anybody, feel free to reach out.
Yeah. That's how interactive you guys was when it first caught our eye. So we definitely appreciate that. So
same for us. Yeah, we love anybody. At the end of the day, sports is fun. So anybody we find with that's having fun watching sports. I mean, some fans take it a little too hardcore and, across the line. But anybody just having a good time watching sports, we love to communicate and talk with.
Yep. Appreciate you. Steven, I don't know if you saw this one. This was from Randy talking about since you guys will both be out at SC Media Day. So we'd definitely love to see you guys get together and collab a little bit. So I think y'all would appreciate each other's knowledge. For sure.
Now, Trey, y'all gonna be doing anything regarding the upcoming Olympics?
Oh yeah, we're dropping a bunch of not to spoil it, but we got a couple Olympic topics coming up that we'll be discussing tomorrow. But the entire time we're gonna be doing little like who do you know or what do you know type videos, all types of Olympic trivia. We're gonna be doing constant. Like I know I'm gonna be covering the hell out of basketball and track. I know Jamie's gonna be doing a lot of the swimming. We're gonna be all over the place. Olympics are heavy. We don't take vacations, so we'll be very heavy.
That's what's up.
I like it. I like it.
I love it, man. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep. Gentlemen, we appreciate both of y'all being on here for sure. We love. Oh no, man! It was like we were looking for different teams. So when you popping up and being Ohio State, that just kind of fit into what we're doing. We've enjoyed the summer series. We've enjoyed hearing about other teams, and then Steven bringing kind of the Alabama knowledge to us too as well. So we appreciate this whole thing, man. But the series has been good, and we've really appreciated. And you're probably the only one so far to really give the solid prediction for what his team is going to do. So I like the confidence, man. I like to hear that. We always tell people, I think sometimes they come on and they're like, oh, I gotta, be respectful. No, man, say you go, if you think you'll beat everybody, say you go beat everybody.
Yeah.
Gotta be confident. If I don't believe in
I just like how my boy said, look, Will, just be Craig Crenshaw. That's all we need to do.
Big Game Craig. That's all I need. Big Game Craig. That's what we need here.
I like it, man.
Appreciate y'all, man.
We'll definitely check out your stuff online, both of y'all, and then we'll have to have you back sometime. Unless you guys win the whole thing, then we're not having you back.
Then we're not gonna talk to you again.
Hey, let me know anytime. I will pop on anytime. If we somehow face each other in the playoff or something, then y'all definitely gotta have me back.
Oh, it's on then. Yeah. We will definitely get together for something.
But pop on. Like I said, I want to have y'all on the show too at some point. So make sure pop on, especially with football season coming closer. I definitely want to do more work. So
it's about to really get heated. We thought this offseason was something. Just wait. When August flips on, it's gonna be crazy. So we're definitely looking forward to it. Steven, Treyday, appreciate you both. Raj, we survived another week. We'll be back with y'all next week at the same time. Until that, everybody have a wonderful night and roll tide.
Roll tide.
Roll it.
Bye-bye.